It had taken Jane years to find her. She'd followed the river of gossip from London to Coventry, all those whisperings about an exotic and wealthy foreigner who, decades ago, had turned heads in London society for just a brief few weeks before mysteriously vanishing. A lifelong spinster, so it was told, who'd spent her life caring for her brother's children and, when they had grown, was taken in by an adoring niece to look after her grandnieces and nephews. Jane sat in the drawing room, waiting for her to appear. The floor creaked behind Jane, and Mehrunissa Begum Hammersmith walked in. A thick, grey-streaked braid swung over her shoulder, a matronly high-necked black dress on. She was graceful and soft as she made her way across the room, sat in a chair opposite Jane, and folded her hands in her lap. "I am delighted to make your acquaintance, Mrs. Shelley," Miss Hammersmith said. Jane doubted it. The woman neither smiled nor frowned. She had an unreadable expression on her face. A thick knot formed in Jane's chest. She could see, now, why her mother-in-law had been so taken by such a dignified creature. Slowly, Jane exhaled the breath she'd been keeping in and gathered the bundle of papers in her lap. "I have begun the task of working on my mother-in-law's memorials," Jane said calmly. "Both hers and her husband's." "Tragic, how he died," Miss Hammersmith said. "I read about it in the papers. So young, Percy. Lord Byron too, and—" The woman before Jane appeared to lose her composure, but she took a moment, and a softness returned to her face. "And another man who was employed by him," she continued. "A young doctor." Jane nodded. "You spent that summer with the most notorious man to ever have written a word in the English language. Have you ever wanted to—" "No." Miss Hammersmith shook her head. She smoothed her black dress against the top of her thighs. "I prefer to forget that summer, Mrs. Shelley. It was as if I were never there." Miss Hammersmith stared hard at Jane, who realised this was not a request, but a command. She would never speak of her time with the Shelleys. Jane had been gripping hard to the bundle. She let go, placed her hands on top of the pile, then cleared her throat. It was a while before the words materialised in her mind. "As you may have heard," Jane said, "Mrs. Shelley died a number of years ago. We were very intimate. She was like a mother to me." She let out a deep sigh. She knew she hadn't fully recovered from the loss, perhaps never would.